The Experience Worship Conference, we had the privilege of being a sponsor the very first year.
Yes, you did.
A conference for contemporary worship leaders, traditional worship leaders of all stripes, from all size churches, from small to large, in whatever setting, rural or city or whatever. It is a great conference on the property of Disney. It's at the Contemporary Resort, and this is the third year, right, Al? Tell us more about this great conference for worship leaders.
Well, this is our third year. Thanks for the endorsement. This is our third year to do the event. Now, we have a 90-foot stage. You probably can't believe that, but it's 90 foot long. We have 3 different stages within that, so the program just kind of keeps running. And at the same time, workshops galore put on by great people. And this conference is not done. The reason I think we have success, and let me give it to you, is because we put together, and they come down and spend 3 days together, and then they're on phone calls all the time, but we put together committees of guys. I mean, I'm talking like 30 guys, you know, that have come together from all over the country, and they said, as worship leaders, this is what we need. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, and we have on there big churches, all the way down to little churches. So we make sure we don't miss any gamut in between. Then, when I was going through it, I thought to myself, safe. If you're a worship guy in a church, and you have any kind of problem going on in your life, the first thing you do is put this big wall around you. You take that problem and you say, I'm not going to share that with anybody, because if I share that, I could lose my job, I could get in trouble, blah, blah. We bring in 8 professional counselors. They sit in a room, we get a number, they put the number on the screen, you dial the number, they get a text, a time, and a place. The only thing you're not allowed to do is when you go meet the counselor, you can't tell them your name and you can't tell them where you're from, but you just get to talk to them. And it is such a massive, in fact, the guys 8 counselors went 14 hours a day for 2.5 days.
Just amazing.
That much stuff.
One of the most powerful parts of that conference is the counseling service that you offer. And guys are able to come in, worship leaders who are dealing with things and they don't have anywhere else to go. Because as you said, they feel they risk losing everything. And to be able to come to a conference, to be around your friends, to learn about the latest tips and techniques in the industry and the resources, but then to be able to take some private time to speak with a trained counselor about the burdens of your heart that are inhibiting your passion for ministry. Al, it's just a fantastic resource.
Can I tell you the biggest thing that happened last year?
Yes.
On a Wednesday night, so if you picture the conference is right smack dab in the middle of it. So on that Wednesday night, we took our room from the 90-foot stage when all the people sitting out here, we completely transformed the room in the afternoon to put it in the round. And then we had a piano player, a guitar player, a drummer on a box, you know, just a cajon and a djembe, and a bass player. And then we put all those steering committee guys on the stage as well as our house band people. And for 2 solid hours, we worshiped nonstop. I mean, we didn't stop and talk. If you can picture singing. And you know, when we have a room full of people that just know how to sing anyway, it's like chills everywhere. And we started off by having some choir people around the crowd, and they started singing, remember? And then people just started standing. There was no words. We didn't say anything. We just started worshiping. We came in, the room was down, and it was just absolutely stunning. And the way we knew it worked was when we went back to our steering committee meeting, which is all those committee guys, when we went back to those about 4 months after it to do our, you know, this is what we ought to do next year and take on the input and make the changes we need to make sure the conference is hitting the target. When we went and did that, the guys were sitting there, and it was like 20-something out of the 30 had gone home and done this worship thing like that. And it was incredible. And just so this year we added, there's a whole choir track. So we took the upstairs of that convention center. So now we have the entire 100% of all the convention center at the Contemporary Hotel. And remember, we sold it out last year, and we sold out half of the Polynesian Hotel. People had to ride monorails to come to the conference. We're way ahead of that now. But we have it upstairs, so now there's a whole choir track going, and you actually do a performance at the event, and then there's stuff about how to keep choir members, and then there's choir members come, what should be expected of choir members to be in a choir. This is all the stuff that's really ingenious, because the guys who put it together, there's 12 worship guys who put this choir part together. Those guys who put it together, they said, this is what we want our choir members to know. You know what I'm saying? But when we go say it, we're the bad guys. So now they get to have it taught to them, which is just incredible. So now they're bringing all these choir deals. So we're going to have almost 500 choir people there.
And then a mass choir, I believe, one of the evening is going to perform as well.
That same Wednesday night, right after we segue from our worship thing straight into the choir. In fact, the last song, the choir comes out and starts singing it with us.
Oh, how awesome.
And then we've got Tommy Walker's going to be there for that night, and then Mark Harris is going to be there.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be a great
and throughout
event.
the week, you have other artists and
Yeah,
things.
I saw on the pre-roll Paul Balash. And, I mean, you just have all the people, Israel Houghton. I mean, you just have so many different people.
And your praise band, the worship band for the week, is a who's who all-star roster, man. It is nothing but the best. And if you want to be around thousands of worship leaders for a week, you want to get everything from the practical tips to the personal counseling. Come to the experience in September. Come to Disney and be a part of one of the greatest worship conferences, honestly, for worship leaders that you could possibly experience.